Hi there, my name is Dana Yost, hashtag Fairy Prep Mother. I'm so excited to start these weekly cooking classes. They're going to be so full of tips and tricks and how to save money on your groceries. We're in a time of going to the grocery store, placing our grocery orders, and just not knowing what's going to come because of out of stocks or because items are just getting more expensive. So through these cooking classes, I'm going to teach ways that you can utilize one meal, turn it into another, how to pivot when you go to the grocery store. Maybe you find a meat that's on sale and you want to change your plan real quick, or you go to the store, you have your list ready to go, you had your meals picked out, but that meat that you needed wasn't in stock. So check back every Sunday at 6 Central. That'll be 7 Eastern, 5 Mountain, 4 Pacific, and we'll have a new class every Sunday full of all kinds of tips and tricks and things. So let's go ahead and get started, okay? So first, let me tell you a little bit about what we're making. We're going to make some chicken tenders, and we're going to show some ways to reuse those. We're going to make some fries, but some grown-up fries. We're going to make some sauce to dip it for those of us who like a little bit more spice. And then we're going to make some dessert. So to start with, I have 2 potatoes here, and we're going to cut these thin. This is our Prep Pro Chef knife. It is a ceramic knife. It's super awesome for cutting. So actually, just before we start, I want to swap these real quick. This is our sheet pan and liners. This eliminates all need for foil. It is fantastic. You throw them right into the dishwasher. So we're just going to go ahead and cut our potatoes really thin into little slices. So I cut it into half, and I'm just going to cut it into small little thin slices. We're kind of going to make like matchsticks. Okay. And I should probably also led with this too. These meals are going to be quick. So each of these videos is probably going to be about 20 minutes or so. And during that time, we're going to make a dinner. You'll have ideas for how to turn that into lunch. And there'll also be a special treat for dessert. All right. So we're just cutting up these potatoes. So we're going to get this part of the meal done first, and then we'll move on to our side and our dip and our dessert. And that way, it'll all be done in about 20 minutes. And the whole goal is to help you save more time and money. You know, this will help with, you know, not just going to the grocery store and spending, you know, hundreds of dollars and not really sure what to use the groceries on, or you're just not even getting enough to actually feed you meals. Okay, so let's show some of these. I just made a ton of matchsticks, and actually, I think we're okay with that. So I pulled out 2 potatoes, but that's actually quite a bit there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just pour a little bit of oil, a tiny bit, on here. There we go. Just the tiniest little drop. And then I'm just going to use a silicone brush to brush this. Do not use sprays on this. That will break down the silicone, and also it voids the warranty on it. So just use regular oil, and then also it eliminates the need for getting those $3. I don't even know, how much are the sprays these days? I haven't bought them forever now since I've been using this. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and add our fries. All right. There we go. And if you haven't already, if you're just finding me, make sure you subscribe. If you're on YouTube, if you're on my page on Facebook, make sure you hit the follow or like button. On YouTube, it is Dana Yost. I believe my channel is Fairy Prep Mother. And on Facebook, it is Fairy Prep Mother Meals. I also have a group called Fairy Prep Mother recipe group, that is mine as well, and a blog. But just pick your favorite platform, stick with me, you will still get all of your favorite things. Okay, so we have our fries on here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit more oil, a tiny bit again. And what you could do too is just have like a little bowl of oil to spread. That would be easier too. I'm just going to dip this and kind of cover those fries to help them get a little crispy, and then we're going to add a little bit of seasoning on them. Okay, there we go. Won't need that. We're just going to use this SPG, salt, pepper, garlic. It's a great all-around seasoning, just for like anything. I'm just going to kind of move that around a little bit so that way some of that seasoning, there we go, distributes a little bit better. You can also just throw this into a bowl. We're getting ready to use this, but this has an egg in it at the moment. Put your oil and then your potatoes and your seasoning in there and just mix it right up in there. That'd be easy as well. All right, there we go. All right, next we're going to move on to the chicken portion. We are going to use 2 bowls. I have an egg in one, and we're going to put some seasoning in the other. This is a crispy and crunchy coating. If you are gluten-free, all of these products that I'm sharing with you are gluten-free. Our household is not, but all of these products are gluten-free. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to whisk up this egg real quick. Let's see if my helper can put this whisk in the sink for me. Go ahead and get our chicken cut up into strips. So what I do is I buy my chicken, ground beef, all the things in bigger packages, and I split it up. So this has just under 2 pounds of meat in it. So I'm going to use this for 2 different meals. Let's see. So we're just going to go ahead and cut this up into strips. Cut off this little bit of fat. And chicken, you need about 1/4 pound per person. So we should be able to get about 4 people worth out of this. Our household has 3. But when we have leftovers, we use them for lunches. We can turn them into all kinds of things. So with these chicken strips, tomorrow we could use the leftovers to put into some salad. So make like a nice chicken Caesar salad and use the chicken strips. Of course, you just eat the chicken strips if you want. But another way to use these is to make little mini chicken parms. So if you want to make your chicken strips a little bit bigger, or these little ones would work just as well. So tomorrow, you just preheat your oven and then add a little bit of sauce and some mozzarella cheese on top to heat it up. And you have little chicken parms. Okay, so I'm going to, I have my chicken pieces. Just kind of dip this into the egg and then dip it into the breadcrumbs. And the good thing is, I'm just going to go ahead and put all this chicken right in here. Just put it right on top. All right. There we go. Get it all mixed up in there. All right, tell me a little bit in the comments, how many people do you cook for? Is it yourself, 2 people, 10? Tell me in the comments. So I like to have leftovers for lunches. I've never really been a huge like sandwich person for lunch. I don't know what it is about me. I do like turkey subs, but I do enjoy having leftovers and transforming them into something fun. Oh, you could also use these chicken tenders to put on a sandwich. So like in the case of those, the chicken parm I was just talking about, you can make chicken parm sandwiches. If you wanted to make like a chicken bacon ranch, and this will add a nice crunch to whatever sandwich you're making. And I'm also curious, tell me in the comments, how many times a week do you cook? Do you cook dinner nightly? Do you cook it 5 times a week? What about in breakfast? Like, do you like hot breakfast? Do you like cereal? Alright, only a few more. Move some of that. We're almost done with this portion, and then I'm just going to wash my hands real quick, and then we can move on to the next portion. Actually, I'm going to show this to you because this is the sheet pan, and we're fitting all of our chicken tenders and our fries on here. And again, this would be enough for our household of 3. But if you have more people, just double the packets. So use 2 packets. But I have, let's see here, we'll count in a second. I need to wash my hands. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 17 tenders because I cut them pretty small. So we could each have, let's see, we could have up to 5 with a couple left over, but I think 3 is pretty reasonable. And then we still have a bunch left over for tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video real quick, wash my hands, and then we will get to step 2. Okay, so I got my hands washed. I'll show you this before it hops into the oven. We're going to go ahead and bake this for 20 minutes, and that's the dinner portion. So hold on one second. Okay, next we are going to make our dip. So the dip normally calls for mayo and sour cream. I am currently out of mayo, but that's okay because I love all the dips with just sour cream anyway. So that's what we're going to do. But if you wanted to mix it, you just do half of each. So the recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of the seasoning with a cup each of mayo and sour cream. Now I do not need that much. We're going to cut the recipe. I'm just going to use a tablespoon of our seasoning. And this is our 4-in-1 spoon. It has a tablespoon, teaspoon, half teaspoon, and a quarter. And then 2/3 of the sour cream. Just mix that up a little bit. So this is a 1/3. Also, the bowl I'm using right now is actually a 1 cup. We have the 1 cup bowls and the 4 cup prep bowls. The 4 cup is the ones that you saw me using the egg and the mix in for the chicken. Crispy and crunchy. All right, here we go. All right, so now I'm done with the sour cream. Let's mix up our dip. So this could be used for either the fries or the chicken tenders. Make it a little bit more grown up. You can take, you know, if you have kids or someone that just doesn't like a lot of spice, make the chicken tenders and the fries and then make some of these fun adult dips. We also have Chinese 5-spice, we have jerk seasoning. So that's also a plus for when you're on a budget and you're really trying to, make things stretch, is jars like these. You can use in so many different ways. You can turn them into the wings right on here, and the recipe is actually right on the back. Liberally seasoned wings, bake at 400 degrees, toss wings in prepared sauce. The sauce is 1 tablespoon of this, ketchup, water, and vinegar. You can also turn into an aioli. That would be the seasoning with 1 cup of mayo. And basically, I'm just making an aioli, but with sour cream. So this is almost fully mixed. And that's a nice, fun adult dip. Now, you can always prepare these ahead of time, stick them in the fridge. There's no need to make this, nightly or whatever. Make your dips early in the week. And then you have a nice selection. You can make, let's see, we have like onion, we have herb and garlic, we have lemon dilly, all kinds of different dips. So that way you can use them like in your lunches for, with veggies. And the same thing, you can use those then to season your meat as well. So that is one of the really nice things about these jars. You can use them for all kinds of things. That's really good. It's really good with just the sour cream. It definitely has some heat. So if you like a mild, and I think that's currently what it is. I think once it refrigerates, it might get a little hotter. But if you want it just even a little tamer, then only add a half a tablespoon. But the nice thing is when you start little, you can always work your way up. Okay, so we have our dip done. Let's make some cookies. I'm gonna use my KitchenAid. We have our shortbread cookie mix. And then we're just gonna add butter, half a cup, so a stick, and a tablespoon of water. So I have my stick of butter. And again, these are completely gluten-free. So if you are gluten-free, we got you on the dessert. All right. There we go. And this might make a little bit of noise for a second. We're gonna get out a second one of these for a tablespoon of water. Okay, I have my water and I'm just gonna stick this on my mixer for a second. You might hear a noise for a sec. Okay, so I just have that mixing, and then I'm going to bring over the quarter-sized sheet pan. This comes as a set of 2. Again, it has that liner that just goes straight into the dishwasher. So I'm using one of the 2. We have the larger size with the chicken and fries in the oven right now. We're going to use this for our cookies. And then these are going to bake for 14 to 16 minutes. Okay, here we go. So it comes out really crumbly, and that's completely normal. You're just gonna kind of use your hand to put it like into a ball, which is super easy. Let's see what you can see. But that was to cut the butter and the water and make sure it was fully mixed. So this is super easy. Okay, and I believe this makes, let's say, 12 cookies? About 15 cookies. Now you could absolutely just give out a tablespoon if you wanted. I'm just gonna go ahead and roll these by hand. I'm just putting all this here so that way you can see me do this. Okay. And then we're going to flavor these in a few minutes. Let's see how long's left. We have about 12 minutes left on our dinner. I'd love to know, comment and tell me, what are some of your favorite holiday flavors? Are you into gingerbread, peppermint, pumpkin, apple spice? Let me know in the comments. Now, I am a from scratch baker. I'm going to fully admit, at Christmas time, I make hundreds of cookies of all different kinds. I usually do not get prepackaged, but these shortbreads are so good that I absolutely keep them in stock, and sometimes I just make them for myself. So good. And again, like I said, they're gluten-free, so if you've been looking for a gluten-free treat, I highly recommend these. So again, through these classes, my goal is to give you tips and tricks to lower your grocery bill, to help save money in the store, to make sure that you're armed with resources that when you get to the store and something didn't go quite right, you're able to pivot and stay out of the drive-through and all those things, and actually help you save some money. So let me just rinse my hands again real quick. Okay, so we have one more thing to do to these cookies before we stick them in the oven. I'm going to, you could just throw them in just like this. Fantastic. I'm just going to flatten it a tiny bit because we're going to put some flavor on them. And you can see in the 20 minutes, it took about 5 minutes probably to cut up all of our stuff, cook for 20 minutes, and in that time we're able to whip up dessert. And dessert's not even necessary if you don't really want it. But sometimes special occasions or just because. Okay, so first I have some gingerbread. This is last year's jar, so it's not the exact same anymore. But this is the gingerbread seasoning. I'm just going to put that on some of these. Okay. This spoon was probably a poor choice. Normally I just sprinkle with my fingers. I probably should have done that. That's fine because I like gingerbread. And I'm going to add, I thought I pulled out some pumpkin spice. That's okay. I have some apple pie. That'll work too. And this one has the shaker lid. Most of them do. Last year's version, I think it was during the pandemic when glass was hard to source. So that's why last year's didn't have it. All right, there we go. I'm just going to sprinkle out a little bit of that seasoning that I put on the gingerbread. Okay, so there you go. They are ready to head to the oven. They are going to go in for 14 to 16 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these in, and I'm going to turn on the timer on the oven. And then, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and just pause this because the chicken has about 8 more minutes left, and then I will show you. Okay, our chicken and fries are ready. Let's see if I can show you. There you go. So we still have about 6 minutes left on those cookies, but that is perfect because if you want to sit down and eat your dinner, and then cookies are nice and hot when it's done. So they have a few more minutes. So I'm going to be right back in 5 minutes to show you, and then that's it. Let me just actually spotlight some of these things real quick. We made the dip with the Louisiana seasoning. And that did start to get a little hotter. So I do recommend, if you don't like a lot of spice, cut it down to about a half tablespoon. We use the gingerbread and the apple pie on our cookies, the SPG on our fries, and the crispy and crunchy on our tenders. And then we also used the 4-cup pretzels and the 1-cup pretzels, and the sheet pan and the sheet pan liners. If you're looking for super simple cleanup, I highly recommend looking into the sheet pans and the liners. It eliminates all the need for your foil. Alright, we are back. Our cookies are ready. We have the cutest little small cookies. This has the gingerbread and this has our apple pie. So good. Thank you for tuning in for our first Sunday cooking class. If you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the comments or in the description. I'm also going to add a short little form, super quick if you want to keep it personal, and you can drop all your questions in there for me to directly contact you and answer all of them. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you would like to grab any of the products listed in today's video, you can check out the link in the description. And otherwise, we can chat about finding what's going to work best for you. That's all.